Hi friends, can you hear me and can you see my screen? Okay, so we'll start this class. So basically this is a webinar. It's about Google Analytics. So we'll learn today what Google Analytics is and how important it is in today's life. How do we track various things in digital? And you would have heard a lot of about websites, about mobile apps, about Facebook, LinkedIn, and various other digital sources of marketing mediums, and how Google Analytics can help us in this digital era. So first of all, I'll just tell you about myself. So I'll give you about my background. So I graduated from IIT Varanasi, IIT BHU, and I have over 9 years of experience. I have worked in digital media. I have worked in web analytics. I have worked on marketing and product management. And in terms of companies, I have worked in Wipro, eValueSurf, Ozone Media, and currently I'm working in Havas Media. I have also founded a website, couponexpress.in, so and I'm working on one more project. So this is my background. So basically you can ask anything with me related to digital web analytics and digital marketing. So today this is the objective of this webinar. So basically I'll explain you what digital media analytics is and how Google Analytics help us in measuring digital media analytics. Then we'll talk about few important KPIs. By KPIs I mean key performance indicator. So whenever we do a business, there are certain parameters which are tracked and which are measured how we are faring on those parameters. So those are termed as KPIs. For digital media or for digital medium like websites, mobile apps, or any marketing medium like Facebook, we have special KPIs. We have special key performance indicators which we need to keep a track on that will help us measure how we are performing. Then we'll discuss about the various requirements by companies at different stages. So every company does not have the same data requirement or same analytical requirement. So companies at different stages have different requirements. We'll just look into it, what it is. And then I'll give you a brief about career prospects in this field. And then I'll show you some live demos of dashboards and Google Analytics and other things. In the during the course, if you have any queries, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot out. Just type in the questions box and we'll take it up then and there itself. Okay. So Annie is our friend and she's asking what is the main objective of digital media analytics. So basically, first of all, let me tell you what digital media analytics is. So media analytics is a special field of business analytics, and business analytics is all about numbers. It's about number crunching. It's about solving problems using data analytics, understanding from data how things are performing. And digital media analytics is a specialized field which focuses on digital data. So we get a lot of data from various apps, mobile sites, and Facebook and other sources, and we understand that data, we read that data, and we analyze that data to get some meaningful information and take strategic calls. So that is what digital media analytics is about. So if I look at the bookish definition, so Annie tells me the main objective of digital media analytics is to measure the performance of your digital property and report the information in such a way that actionable insights can be reduced. So what she means is that probably we have to measure the performance of our property. We have to measure what we are doing. We have to track how we are progressing, and then we have to record every information. We have to prepare in form of reports so that actionable insights can be taken once someone reads that report. So to understand this better, now what we'll do, we'll take an example. We'll look into various requirements by companies. So let's assume, let's take up an e-commerce example. So we will see what are the various stages in an e-commerce company and what are the various data requirements that it should track, what are the various KPIs that it should track, and as the stages it grows, how requirements change throughout the time. Okay, I have one question here. Question is by Rohan. Rohan is asking what is the difference between digital analytics and traditional analytics? Okay, so Rohan, digital analytics focuses only on data from digital mediums. So data coming from Facebook, data coming from website, what people are doing there, data coming from your mobile app, any medium which is digitally connected is a part of digital media analytics. Now, traditional analytics is your normal business analytics where you work on a lot of data. It can be collected offline, it can be collected through banks. So any analytics which is applied on your normal day-to-day life is probably traditional analytics, and digital analytics focuses only on digital mediums. Okay. And one more point I want to bring out here, since question was asked, digital media analytics has different tools as compared to traditional media analytics. Okay, I have a message from Rusagra. I am not seeing your presentation. Guys, is it visible to everyone? Can everyone see my presentation? Okay. Rusagra, I believe the problem is from your side, as everyone else is able to see my presentation. All others have confirmed presentation is visible to them. So I'm not sure what's the problem. So what we'll do one thing, Rusagra, we'll share this presentation with you. We'll share the recording. So in that case, you shouldn't face any problem. So if you're not able to share, then probably we'll share the presentation with you. Okay. So Ram has asked another question. Can you mention the digital media tools? Okay. So Ram, digital media tools are tools which help you record digital data. So Google Analytics is one of the most popular tools. Apart from that, we have Omniture, we have Site Catalyst, and then there are very small tools which are upcoming in the market. So we have Leapfrog, and we have Delta X. So there is no limitation to the tools, but the popular ones are Google Analytics, Omniture, Site Catalyst. Okay. So moving on, so we will now see various stages that companies goes through. So first of all, any company when it starts from the inception stage. So so in our example, we are talking about an e-commerce company. When an e-commerce company starts, it will start from inception stage. So it will first try to define a product in the market, and it will have limited budgets. It may not have yet raised the capital. It may be surviving on seed funds. So they cannot have huge sets of marketing spends, and their main focus at this stage is about product. They have to prove their product, they have to test their product, and they have to establish this product in the market. They have to first prove that product is acceptable and people are reacting to the development that they have done to the product they have created. So in this stage, the main requirements around measurement and around around tracking your data is about product. So teams have limited budgets. The company has to learn how users are behaving to the product that they have created. So for example, I've created a say e-commerce website for let's say clothes. So in the inception state, my main focus will be how people are working, how people are reacting on the website. So I will test it with small audience, probably friends, probably nearby relatives, maybe friends of friends, and maybe a little bit of very small selective marketing. So I will test my product, how people are reacting on the product, how they are behaving, what they are doing. And this is known as the inception stage or product development stage. And in this case, my main focus or my main analytical requirement is around product. So my requirements from data will be what people are doing. So let me do one thing. Let me open a website and show it directly to you. So let's say we open Amazon.com. Okay, so now here we see a website Amazon.in. Let me open Amazon.in. So in this website, this is an e-commerce website. There are multiple things that can be done. So now here is the home page. So I can see one search box here. This is the first thing which comes in my mind as I see it prominently placed over here. I'll be using a highlighter. Yeah. So in this search box, if I type anything here, it can be recorded, and the website will start searching for that product. So basically, this tells me that this tells me that I'm looking for something. Suppose if I am interested in mobile phones, what I will do is probably I'll just type here mobile. Now, when I click on search, it will give me all the products which are related to my search. Now, this search data can be recorded, and this will help Amazon track what is the demand, what people are looking for, what they're searching for, so that at the back end they have to ensure that adequate supply is maintained. So this is data that can be tracked. Now, if you see across the website, you'll see a lot of phones, you'll see a lot of things happening here. So I can do multiple activities. All this data can be recorded. So my behavior with the product, suppose I click on one of the sellable identity. So now here I can see star ratings, I can see customer reviews, I can see, I can compare two phones. So I can probably see the details of the product, and there are multiple things about this product which I can view here. So that is my engagement. So what I'm doing, how I'm doing, if I'm clicking on add to cart or I'm not clicking on add to cart, or how many people, what percentage of people are watching customer reviews, all these details will help me improve my product. So for example, with the data I figure out that out of 100 people, only say 5% clicked on add to cart. So it means that 95% people just saw the product and they did not do anything. So it's a feedback. It's a feedback which is coming from data. So probably I have now I have an understanding how many people are actually clicking on add to cart. Now what I do after that, probably instead of placing add to cart button here, I can place it somewhere else. So suppose I place this add to cart button over here. I remove it from this place and place it here, and now I see what's the response. And probably let's take a hypothetical number. Let's assume that after changing the position of add to cart button, I see that numbers have improved to 20%. So earlier 5% people were clicking on add to cart. Now 20% people are clicking on add to cart. So it means my product has improved. There is an improvement. So this is what is the initial stage where you build your product, where you test your features, where you understand what customer wants from you and whether you're able to provide it or not, and how they are reacting to your product. So this is the inception stage. Okay, so we'll go back to a presentation. Yeah. So in the inception stage, the main focus is around establishing your product, about developing your product, so that you have to test your product, and your main requirement from analytical side is around products, around your website, around your mobile app, how people are behaving, how people are reacting, and all this data helps you improve it. Next stage is the growth phase. So once you have established your product, once you have created a sustainable product, then your validity of the product has already been established. So you will raise some funds, and then probably if you have funds enough, that's good. So you'll start marketing activities. So during this phase, your main focus is on two things: one, product, plus second, marketing. Now, product is an ongoing process. So every time you'll have to re-innovate yourself, because people might get bored with your product after some time. So you'll have to again change few things. You'll have to change themes. You have to make a lot of changes from time to time. So it's an ongoing process. But here, a new phase that is entered is marketing. So you'll have to start tracking the performance of marketing. So you'll have to basically see how visitors are getting acquired in your portal or in your website or in your mobile app. So in this growth phase, the main tracking or main data tracking activity that happens is product, of course. Apart from product, it's marketing, which is a new activity that starts. So you'll have to track which channels are performing, which marketing mediums are performing, and out of those marketing mediums, which ad units are performing well, and how you can further improve and you can further optimize your cost to get the better audience out of it. So Google Analytics also helps you in tracking both online and offline medium. So using Google Analytics, you can understand even your offline medium. Suppose you are running a TV ad or you're running a print ad, how that is performing, that also comes out. So coming back to our portal. So I'll just give you an example how ads are relevant. So suppose I see this banner. Let me use a highlighter again. So I see 5% off on wedding gift cards. Now, as a user, I can do two things. Either I can click on that ad or I can ignore it. So that can be tracked, how many people clicked on which ad. And accordingly, Amazon gets the feedback which ads are performing and which ads are not performing. Now, this is in website ad, I mean the internal ads. Similarly, Amazon might be running ads at multiple places. They might be running ads in Google, they might be running ads in Facebook, they might be running ads in a lot of other websites as display ads, and it has to get a feedback what is performing, what not. So all that can be tracked to Google Analytics, and it helps you understand how various marketing channels are performing. Okay, we'll go back to a presentation. So now, next step, this is the growth phase where our focus has increased from marketing as well as products. Now, in third stage, basically once you have established your product, once you have marketed it enough, and I mean, you are now probably a market leader or you are a well-established player. So at this stage, basically you have enough members on your portal. You have already become established player in the market. Now you have two responsibilities. First, you have to retain existing customers, people who have experienced your website or experienced your mobile app, who have done some activity on your app. You have to retain them. Secondly, you have to acquire new customers. So both these activities. Okay, so I have one question from Aditya Gupta. Aditya has asked, SAS or Hadoop can handle any data, but digital analytics handle data only from digital mediums. True, Aditya, you are true. In fact, I was going to answer this question. So basically, in traditional analytics, or once you have all the data, you can use tools. You can use normal analytics tools like SAS, R, Hadoop, Scala, or anything. But when it comes to digital analytics, so you have to first track the data, and then you have to pull out that data, which happens through digital tools which are different from your SAS, R, and Hadoop. So digital tools are Google Analytics, Omniture, Site Catalyst. These tools record the data and help you pull out this data, which once you have the data, then you can again work on it using your normal analytical tools, or if data is not big enough, even Excel sheets can be used to work on it. Most of the time, digital data is not big enough, so Excels are good enough to work on them. Okay, guys, if you feel you have any queries, feel free to shoot out. No issues. We'll keep on answering in during the presentation, so that it's an interactive session. It's not like I'm just talking. So if you have any queries, always feel free to ask. So yeah, so in our third stage, basically, once we are established player. So now our focus is probably on cost effectiveness and profitability. So in this case, again, we have two responsibilities. One, we have to retain our existing customers, and second, we have to acquire new customers. So this happens in two ways. Now your marketing activity is divided into two phases. First, you have to someone has raised a hand. Webov. Webov, if you have any queries, please type it in the questions box. Okay, continuing. So now, once the new customers have been acquired, so we'll have to continue acquiring them because we have to continue expansion. Apart from that, we also have to retain the customers. So our marketing activities is divided into two units. One is retention, and second is new acquisitions. So again, our product will keep on improving, will keep on modifying. So now the requirement of digital media analytics is three-way. First, you have to see how many new customers are getting acquired, which channels are performing well. Second, you have to understand which channels are doing well in retention of customers. It's not necessary the channel which you use to acquire a customer worked very well in retention as well. For example, I'll just give you a small example, which is we have observed in industry, like emails is a very good medium to acquire new customers. So we have seen a lot of emailers earlier. Now, though, Google has made some changes that emails will go in promotions, but earlier, emails were a very good medium to acquire new customers. People used to, you would have noticed a lot of bulk emails about advertising. So that is one of the good mediums to acquire new customers, but they did not work in retention of customer. For retention of customers, Facebook do well. So once a customer has been acquired, then probably you'll start seeing Facebook ads and people will start interacting with that ad. So that's how it works out. So it's not necessarily the same channel works for both retention and acquisition. So and that it varies from company to company, it varies from case to case, industry to industry, and that can be understood only from data. So that data is what being tracked in digital media analytics. So it helps you track all that data. Okay. So moving on. Okay, so now there are certain digital media KPIs. So basically, it is often said that if you cannot measure something, then you cannot improve on it, which is very, very true. So if I'm creating a website, if I'm creating a mobile app, and I'm not able to measure its performance, how it's working, how it's performing, and if I do not set those parameters, what I should measure, then definitely I will never be able to improve on it because I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I should measure and how it's performing. So there are certain KPIs for products, marketing, technology, and of course revenues that we'll discuss, which are important in digital medium. So for products, user engagement, user interactions, product touch points such as images, reviews, feedbacks, they all are important. Basically, I'll show this to you live on the website itself, and I'll explain what it means, each thing means. Let's open a different website this time. Let's open a Flipkart. So guys, these websites I'm just using for demo purpose. It's not like I'm endorsing them or something. I'm promoting them. I'm just using for a demo purpose. So suppose I'm using the product. Let me explain you what are the KPIs in product. So user engagement, user interactions. So basically, what happens if I open the website? I see there are a lot of links here. There is a search box. There are certain links with categories. So these categories, if I go into any of these categories, it will be known as a category page. If I, let's say I want to buy a mobile, I go to mobile categories. I'll click on mobiles. Now this is a category page. So here I will see all the phones, mobile phones available in this page, and it's my choice. I can filter by say brand that I want to buy, or I can filter by criteria that I have. Maybe price is one of them, or maybe mobile phone type is one of them. So I can do multiple things in this page. So all this activity that I'm doing will be engagement. I'm getting engaged with this website. Suppose I want to buy a Motorola phone. I may click on Motorola. So this is one click which has been recorded, and it was recorded that someone visited this Motorola page. So that's what analytics tells you, that a visit happened on this page. Now I can do multiple things in here. Suppose I want to explore Moto X. I'll click on explore. Again, this is engagement. I am getting engaged with the product further. So I, from category page, I went to a product page, and from product page now I'm watching the details of that product. Probably I might be reading something. I might be trying to understand what it is. If they have a video, I can watch a video. And suppose they have a video, if I click on this, it will get tracked that a video was watched. So all this data is getting recorded, and it can be tracked that how many activities happened, how many, what people are doing once they land on this page, and that helps company to improve their product. So this is the you can say user engagement or user interactions, where we are tracking what's happening, what's going on with the what customers are doing on your portal. Then also we have to track product touch points, like if you are watching images, if you are reading reviews, if you are giving feedback, or you are comparing two products. So all these are product KPIs. Basically these are key performance indicators that tell you how your product has been performing. So suppose let's say uh, uh, in this week I have seen that my user engagement was 80%. So 80% people who opened the website, they did something. Either they clicked on the search box, or they clicked on the category page, or they directly went to the product and they watched images. 20% people were people who did not do anything. Now next week I see the number has dropped to 20% engagement. It means only 20% people are doing something, rest 80% are not doing anything. So again, it means that some issue is there now, because from 80% engagement, my engagement rate has dropped to 20%. So of course, if people are getting engaged less, my sales will reduce. So that's why product KPIs are important, and measuring them is important. And so we have to keep a track how things are performing, how things are moving, and that's what KPIs help us to do. Second, if we look at marketing, so again, marketing, we have multiple KPIs. We have social media marketing, email, display, paid search, referral. So basically, these are nothing but we'll go through these in details once we do the course. These are various forms of marketing that exist. So some you might be very familiar with, like social media marketing means if you're doing any advertising on Facebook. Email marketing means if you are doing emailer activity, if you are doing advertising on emails. Display advertising means if you are running your ads on websites. So all these marketing is trackable, and Google Analytics help you track the performance from each and every channel, how it's performing, how many people uh, came to your website through this channel, and what was the cost, whether you are able to make ROIs or not. So it's an important things to measure. So suppose you see that from social media marketing you get visitors who are buying your product. Say out of 100 visits from Facebook, 10 products were bought. Now next week you see out of 100 visits from Facebook, only 2 products were bought, and this trend continues. It means something has changed, there is some issue. So you'll have to get into issues and resolve, if that's your role, of course. Otherwise, you'll have to share the reports with your with the key stakeholders, who will have to deep dive and understand where the issue is, why channel stopped performing. Then we have some technology KPIs. So basically, technology KPIs are related to tech team and product team. So it tracks how many times, what's the website downtime. So how many times your website went down, what's the SLA. Suppose a website was supposed to be live 99.9%, but it's live only for say 90% in last week. So it means there are a lot of issues that needs to be resolved. which is a feedback that has been given to tech team why website is going down every time. Then average speed is another important parameter. So it's assumed that I mean, if your website takes more than 4 or 5 seconds to load, then it's highly likely that customer will close the website, so he will go to your competitor site. So average speed is an important parameter and should be as low as possible. So this parameter is tracked in Google Analytics. It will help you which pages are loading at what time and how it can be tracked, so that you can work on the troublesome pages and you can reduce the average speed. uh, Page load time, again similar to average speed, it tells you at individual level what activities are taking time. Maybe rendering is taking time, or you are using videos or audios that take time to load pages. So all that can be tracked, and it's a KPI that has to be tracked by technology team. So they have to be measured in these parameters, how you are improving these parameters. So similarly, in sales and revenues, since we are talking about an e-commerce website, these parameters are very important. The number of products sold, if it's increasing week by week, it means you are progressing. Revenues generated, again, it's an important parameter to track how much revenues you are generating. Then another parameters are average revenue per product sold, average revenue per transaction, average number of products per transaction. Now these last three parameters are important because once there are two ways to increase revenues. Either you have to increase the ticket size, you have to increase the sale amount of each individual item. Suppose on an average my website is selling uh, is earning 300 rupees per product. Now either I can change the mix of products so that average 300 becomes average 500. Let's say instead of selling cheap items, I'll start selling quality items. I'll start focusing on costly items. That's one way to increase revenue. Second way to increase revenue is increase your product sales. So that's why these last three parameters become very important, like average revenue per product sold, average revenue per transaction, and average number of products per transaction. So when you track these parameters week on week, month on month, you'll get a fair idea how things are progressing and how you are able to improve revenues. So even small, like in average revenue per product sold, if currently you are selling, in our example, you are selling a product which was worth 300. Now suddenly if it becomes 500, if your average sale per product becomes 500, there is a huge jump, almost 2 times jump. So imagine your revenues changing it twice just by a small change. So these parameters play a very important role in improving your revenues. Okay, so now we'll talk about career prospects. Then I'll show you exactly dashboard how it looks like. So basically, in career prospects, I'll just talk about what data says, since we are talking about data. So basically, as per LinkedIn, there are around 175,000 jobs available for digital analytics professionals. So which is huge, and it's trust me, it's just going to grow day by day. The more and more digital media analytics is being consumed, the more and more mediums are being launched, this number will definitely grow. There's a huge scope, and this is the right time to get into digital analytics. Second thing that we see is that growth rate in marketing is actually high. So we have seen around 67% hike over last year. So again, as I said, that this is the thing, this is how it works out. I mean, this is the future. Digital media is the future. And now if you look at what people do, what are the people who use Google Analytics, or all the data that we are talking about, who are the people who can use this information, who can consume this information? So people who are working as digital strategists, who are keen to join digital media planning, who are interested in digital media specialization, digital media analysis, digital media managers, campaign managers, marketing managers, chief marketing technologist. So it's relevant to all the people who are into marketing as well as product management. And also offline marketing, people who are in offline marketing, it helps to track offline channels as well. So for example, if let's talk about this in a specific case, in our e-commerce example that we took, suppose the company has just launched a new TVC. They have just launched a new TV commercial where they're talking about the brand. Now, what you will notice, if the campaign is effective, if the campaign is able to tell the message, if people are attracted by the campaigns, they will start searching about your website on either search engines like Google, or they will directly open your website through a web browser. Now, these two visit volumes will increase drastically, or there will be a certain change noticed in these two volumes that can be tracked, and you will be able to figure out, okay, since I launched my TVC last week, I can see a jump here. So that's how it can be related and can be tracked, and it can be attributed. How offline channels are also effective, and you can use Google Analytics to measure offline performance as well. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me show you live Google Analytics and how it looks like. Okay, so this is a Google Analytics tool. So this tracks how many people are visiting your website and how many users are there. I'll just walk you through. So of course there's a lot of things. So I cannot cover everything today. It's a part of curriculum and we have 8 classes to understand this tool. So today I'll just tell you about basic how, so you'll just have a fair understanding how it works out, what are the various things and what are the cool things that we can do here. So for example, this is my website couponexpress.in. So what I'm doing is I'm tracking how many visits happened from 1st July till 31st October. Now what I see a pattern. I can see sometimes people are, let me use a highlighter. Yeah. So if you just follow the highlighter, I can see here that people were increasing, then probably I see some low, again increment, decrement. So there's a pattern that I can figure out. Now if this pattern I can see some spikes. To make it smoother, what I will do is I will change from day to week. Now when I click on week, I can see the pattern by week, which will be smoother. See, now things are much clearer to me. So I can see that probably this week my performance was best, somewhere around August. August I touched the peak. After that I fell again. So this means that how many people are visiting my website. Sessions means how many people visit, how many times your website was opened. That's called as session. So I can see that sessions were highest during this time frame, and the reason was true. I was doing some marketing activities, so I can justify that yes, that whatever marketing I was doing at that time was actually working. And after that, I again did some marketing activity. It did not work at all. So I know whatever activities I did between September and October frame, they did not give me any results. So it was just a waste of my money. So in future, I will avoid it. Whatever I did in August and September, I mean, especially this week, that activity gave me some good visits. So it was actually working. So this is a cool insight which I can get only from a tool like Google Analytics, which can tell me that whether my marketing actually worked or not. So now talking about other parameters. So we'll just discuss about all these, what these means. So sessions is how many times your website has been opened. So suppose I opened Flipkart, I opened Amazon.com. So that is counted as one session. Okay, so I have a question from WebHub. What are the other alternatives of Google Analytics? So WebHub, we have tools like Omniture, we have tools like Site Catalyst, then there is Delta X, and there are many tools available which are alternative to Google Analytics. So this field is a booming field, and daily we see a lot of new tools coming up. But the reason why Google Analytics is so popular is because it can be easily integrated with other Google products. So if you do advertising on Google, Google Analytics will be very handy to implement there. If you are advertising on your website, then Google AdSense is another tool that can be used. If you are advertising on mobile, then AdMob is the product bought by Google, which can again very easily be integrated with Google Analytics. So the reason for popularity of Google Analytics is because it's a Google product. It's highly supported by Google, and it offers some good insights, which is free. So that is again a very important reason. All other tools are paid. So this is a free tool available, and that's why almost 58% of the websites across the world use Google Analytics for measurement. And other tools are being used only if you want to get into very high sophistication of data, which you won't be using in a normal website. So as I said, maximum websites are using Google Analytics, and the reason is it's freely available and it's very easy to use, and it's a Google product. Okay. So if I open this website once, so that will be a session. If I open it again, so session will be new. If I close this and again I open say Flipkart, that will be a new session. So number of times the website has been opened will be counted as number of sessions. So this data tells me, sorry, I was looking at Google Analytics. Yeah. So sessions here tells me how many times the website was opened. So it means during the time frame that I've selected, which is July to October. Uh, this I have received some 3,313 visits on my website, or 3,313 sessions. Now, users are actual IPs who have opened this, uh, who has generated these sessions, who has opened these websites. So, users are actually tracked by browsers. So, suppose as we saw in our example, I have opened Flipkart. Now, I can open it multiple times. I can keep on generating more and more sessions. So, this was third time when I opened. If I open it again, I will just refresh it and a session will change. I have opened it again. So this is fourth time I'm opening Flipkart, but I'm opening it from the same browser. So user is one, but four sessions have been generated. So this is what it determines. So number of users means actual browsers that have been used to open to generate these many sessions. Then page views means how many pages I have visited. So in Flipkart, this is a one page view. If I open another page, let's say I clicked on sports. Now this is a second page. If suppose I click on this banner, it will take me to some third page. So all these are different pages. So basically I've generated three page views. So page views means how many pages have been generated. Again, this parameter is important because you want people who are coming to your website to be engaged. So all these three parameters tell you how many people visited your website, how many sessions were opened. So one user may have opened multiple times, and then how many page views have been generated by that user. And if you see these numbers progressing by time, it means you are doing good job. More and more people are getting engaged, more and more sessions are being generated, and page views are increasing, means people are more curious about your product and they're trying to understand and explore what you have created. So pages per session tells me a ratio, per session how many pages were viewed. On an average, in this data, it's 1.56, so it's not high. So ideally, this number is desired to be high. So of course, there are certain cases when this number is desired to be low. For example, if I am a lead capture website, so say websites, there are many websites who just want to capture information, and then probably or someone will call and do further dealings. Let's say suppose you want to buy a property. Now in property, you will not pay online. You will probably just drop in your information, and then some agent will call and probably engage you further. So he'll probably take you to the property. You'll probably see the location, and I mean a lot of activities you'll do, but all that is offline. So those type of websites, the desire it's desired that this number should be low, pages per session, because what happens that since the company wants to capture information, they will directly lend you to a website where you have to just enter the information and submit. So this number is desired to be low. They don't want you to say get lost in the exploring of website, and probably you may open multiple pages and finally without entering the information you can close it. So that's why for lead capturing websites, this number pages per session is desired to be low, but for all other normal websites, this number is desired to be high. It means that people are getting engaged more on your product. Similarly, we have average session duration, which tells you how much average time a person has spent on your website. Then we have bounce rates that tell you how many times, how many people are just bouncing back. So I'll explain the concept of bounce rate. Bounce rate means someone opens your website and without doing any activity, he just closes it. So that's a bounce rate. So ideally, this number again should be as low as possible, because you are getting traffic on your website, and if traffic is just going off from the website without doing anything, so actually it means that it was a bad traffic. So people have not engaged on your product, or they are not doing anything on your product. They just came to your product website or mobile app, and they, without doing anything, just closed it off. So it's desired to be low. And then we have percentage new sessions. So it means how many new people came to your website as compared to earlier old visits. So this number it depends from company to company. It's a strategic call. If you are very aggressive, then this number should be high. If you are very aggressive in marketing, then this number should be as high as possible. For example, you are new in the market and you just want to people to experience your product, so you this number should be high, so every time you're getting a new customer. But once you're established in the market, once you have reached a certain state, then definitely you want old customers to come back again. So it has to be discussed with the management, like what this number should be freezed upon. So ideally, it's expected that in the growth stage, the number should be high, and once you have reached a stable state, this number will fall down to say an acceptable number, maybe 70% or maybe 60%. Again, depending on how aggressive you are and how much more market you have to cover. Then we have certain parameters like language, country, city. So these parameters are very important because what these parameters tell you is they tell you whether the audience that you are getting on your website is actually relevant to your product or not. So for example, let me click on country. So when I click on country, I can see various visits happening from various countries. From India, say 1482, it accounts for 44% of the visits that happened. US again some number, Russia again some number, China some number. So now let's take an example. I have created I want to sell. I'm an online company, e-commerce company, and I want to sell my product only in India. Now, if I'm getting visits from US, Russia, China, Japan, South Korea, it doesn't make sense. Maybe I am doing wrong marketing, or maybe my settings of the campaign that I'm running, the marketing channels that I'm running is wrong. Somewhere some issue is there because I'm getting visits from these countries which are not relevant to me. So either I have to check with my marketing team, my marketing strategy has to be changed. Maybe something is going wrong, maybe some settings error, or maybe the brief that was given to the agency was not clear enough that it should I have to work only in India. So this data tells me actually if whether I'm just wasting my money or actually I'm utilizing it for a good cause. So that's why these reports become important. So actually there was a very practical case. I'll tell you from my past experiences. So we had one client which is an education client. So they they wanted to attract, they wanted students to come to the website, explore the website, and see what are the various education options that so that they can go abroad and study those courses. Now one thing we noticed was in Vietnam, basically we saw that engagement rate was very low, bounce rate was very high, and page views were very low, pages per session were also low, and time spent was very low, maybe few seconds, 3-4 seconds. So immediately gave us an understanding that probably in Vietnam English is not popular. Our website was created in English and we saw all these parameters are not working. Immediately we took a call. We created a Vietnamese website for Vietnam location and we ran it as a separate campaign, and then we immediately saw a good jump in numbers. So now people were able to read Vietnamese, they were able to understand what courses are on the offer, and they were getting engaged properly. So that's why these small numbers, these small reports tell you a lot how you can improve your product. Then we have certain reports like browser, operating systems, mobile. So again, mobile is very important these days because more than 70% of the visits are happening on mobile. So you can understand what type of operating systems, how many visits are coming, so that tech team has to focus on maintaining your product at least on these operating systems. Let's say for example we see Android and iOS, they form around 82% of the visits. So it is very important that your mobile app or mobile site should work well with these systems. There shouldn't be any error. You can ignore probably Windows because you see only 0.14% people have used Windows, just one visit. So even if there is an issue in Windows and you have limited bandwidth, you can prioritize optimizing other operating systems rather than Windows. So this report also helps you understand like what you should prioritize on based on your available resources. So looking at this report, I can clearly say Windows is not important because I don't have any customer base in Windows. So if one person is facing a problem, probably I can ignore it to solve the problem faced by Android system, that is 434, or iOS system 238. So I will prioritize resolving issues on these first before coming to Windows. Okay, so guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg that we have touched. There are a lot more reports. There are hundreds of reports that tells us a lot of things, and probably we'll also once we'll in the course we'll also study like what is the importance of various reports and how they help us in improving the products, in improving the marketing efforts, and various other things. So I'll show you one more thing, which is dashboards. So or I'll show you in Google Analytics itself. Okay. So basically, what happens like every time we have a question. Okay. So Ramkrishna has asked a question. I want to understand, apart from digital analytics tools and the KPIs to be tracked, what other technical concepts aspects need to be learned to make career in digital marketing? Okay, in digital media. Okay, so Ramakrishna, basically usually there are very small terms that once we'll do the course, I'll keep on talking about them as well, and I'll keep on explaining them to everyone. So I'm talking about some direct traffic, I'm talking about some marketing traffic. So these are general internet jargons, or you can say digital jargons, that I'll be explaining during the course. So there are a lot of things, we have tracking, then we have cookies, and then we have say JavaScript codes that run through which Google Analytics track data. So we'll be discussing this through the entire course. So there are small terms which probably, if you can read about, if it's a general awareness of internet. So suppose you understand how websites work, how cookies are getting tracked, how these cookies are getting placed in JavaScript codes of the web pages. So all these generic terms, it's nothing very rocket science. So these are small terms, and then the main focus here in Google Analytics is about tracking data and getting meaningful insights from that data. So okay, so we have another question from Webhub. You told we can track each and every activity of the users on any page. Can you please show this on Google Analytics? Sure, Vaibhav. So what I will show is how you can track a website. So let me go to admin. So here, if I go to admin, this is my website, Coupon Express. This is the tracking info. If I click on it, I can see a tracking code. So when I click on tracking code, so I can see this script. So basically this is nothing, this is a JavaScript. I have to copy this script and I have to paste it on the relevant website on the header section, and it will start tracking itself. So once that script has been placed, what it will do is Google Analytics will, this database, or you can say this server of Google Analytics, will start interacting with my website. So this script will pass on all the information to Google data servers. It will pass on which browser was used to open, which page was being opened, uh, what user is clicking on. I mean, what are the various clicks happening. Now for clicks, we have to add a different click parameter code. So it is known as, basically it's a function, it's a GA function that has to be added on that click button. So as soon as that click happens, that Google Analytics passes that code to Google data servers, so that it records how clicks are happening. So any further queries, please keep on typing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So okay, so I was talking about dashboards. So what happens, on day-to-day life? So a CEO may not be interested in all technical data, in all information, each and every detailed information, but he definitely would like to know a superficial number. He might want to know, might want to keep a track of what's happening superficially. So we have dashboards for it. So dashboards, as you can see here, just check on the left hand side where my cursor is. So in this dashboards, you can create reports the way you want them. So suppose for management, I've created a management dashboard, which will be helpful for a CEO level guy or a person who wants to have an overall perspective of what's going on in the company, how are the numbers looking from superficial point of view. So this dashboard contains total visits, it contains percentage new visits. So it will be, definitely a CEO would like to know how many total visits are happening on my website on a monthly basis or daily basis, what's percentage is new visits, what's the average visit duration, what's the bounce rate, then which are the important pages that are performing, like home page has got maximum page views, what are the other pages, then what's the visits happening from social channels, since social is very important these days, what are the bounce rates, average visit duration. Now again, what are the visits by device category? This section has become important because these days a lot of focus is towards mobile and tablet. So what percentage is coming from mobile and tablet, and whether it's increasing or decreasing. So these are just superficial numbers which will help CEO to maybe answer broader level queries. If he finds there are issues somewhere, then probably he'll deep dive and catch hold of those departments. Let's say he finds that in country India, we are getting visits for, but actually that's not the country where we should be getting visits from. So we can catch hold of marketing team and figure out what's happening there, what are the various marketing activities that are happening. So this is just a dashboard and it can be customized the way you want. So these are certain dashboards. Similarly, we have a lot of other dashboards. So suppose I want to give a dashboard to uh, VP level. So there are different dashboards like how many loyalties, how many people are loyal to, how many people are coming back, how many sessions are happening. Let's say suppose I want to track the performance of social media. So this is a dashboard which can be dedicated only to social media, so that you'll be able to figure out how social media is performing, what's the overall site visits, how many new visitors acquisitions are happening, so what's the social engaged value. So all this we'll discuss in course in detail. I'm just showing you the various options that are available. Apart from this, we can set up certain email the reports. So there are custom reports that will give you absolute numbers, day wise, date wise, what are the visits, what are the various performance parameters, and how activities are happening. Okay, so guys, I would like to take questions now. This is it. I just wanted to show you the importance of Google Analytics and how it's changing the things and how it can help you to improve your product, and probably it can help you to improve revenues and a lot of other things like customer experience and other things. Okay, so if you have any queries, please feel free to shoot out. I'm here to take it up. Okay, so I have a question. What is the optimal bounce rate on website? Question has been asked by Josephine. So, Josephine, there is nothing like an optimal bounce rate on a website. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's desired that bounce rate should be as low as possible. So, and also it depends on how aggressive you are involved in marketing activity. So, suppose you are very aggressive in marketing, then you will get a lot of junk traffic. If you market very aggressively, you might have a lot of budgets to market at all the places. So many people will just come out of curiosity, check your website and close. So bounce rate will increase. But if you are marketing sensibly, if you are targeting the right audience, then it's expected that bounce rate should be as low as possible. Probably maybe 20%, 30% is a good number. But of course, there is no fixed parameter as such. There's no fixed number as such. What's optimal bounce rate? But it's desired to be as low as possible. Okay, another question is by Maria. So Maria is asking, how can I understand the reasons for bounces and improve it? Okay, so Maria, what happens? First, we need to understand why bounces happen. So a bounce rate happens, or someone comes to a website and bounces back because there can be two reasons. First, there is a problem in your product. So suppose I come to your website, I open it. Now I want to click on certain button, it's not working. So that definitely will piss me off, and I will close the browser, and maybe I may go to a competitor website, or I'll just go off from that website. That is one reason. So there are technical bugs. That is one reason why bounces are high, because people want to do certain activity they're not able to do. Second reason possible is from marketing side. So maybe a certain commitment or a certain expectation was set during the marketing of your product, which was not met when I landed on your website. Uh, how I explain this with an example is, let's take an example. I am running a e-commerce company, clothes company, and I have launched an offer, buy one get one free. So if you buy one t-shirt, I'll give you a t-shirt free. Now this campaign is supposed to run for a week. Now after running this campaign for a week, I have already created the creatives, I have already invested in the marketing. Now marketing team does not stop this campaign, they continue running it for another month. Now whichever customer will see this ad will have expectation that whenever he'll buy a t-shirt, he'll get another t-shirt free. So if he clicks on the ad, he will land to the website where he expects to get a t-shirt free on buying on buying one t-shirt, but actually the campaign was over. So here there is a disconnect. So now the expectation set was wrong. So that's why a bounce will be high. Now most of the times these type of activities can be caught by looking at the data. So once you look at the channel data, you'll be able to figure out from which channel the bounces are high, and immediately you can figure out that okay, probably the marketing campaign has not been stopped in Google AdWords or maybe Facebook, because the bounces are high from there. You can get in touch with marketing team and they'll explain where the issue is. So that's how you can actually track how bounces are high and how it can be reduced. I mean, what these are the reasons for bounces. Okay, another question is by Chen. So Chen is asking, how does Google Analytics record data? Okay, so to answer your query, Chen, I already answered slightly. I mean, I answered above about this, so I'll explain this further. So what happens is Google Analytics has a tracking code, which is known as a JavaScript code. So this JavaScript code has to be placed on each and every page of your website. So once you place this code on your website, this script will start interacting with Google servers at the Google backend. So they will start sending out data to Google servers. So anyone opens your website, the data will be sent to the server. A website was opened, and if he browses other pages, the data will be sent to the servers. The person is browsing. If he is doing an activity, it can be tracked if you set additional codes to track that activity. Suppose I click on buy now button. Now, if I have to track that buy now click, I have to set a click tracking code. There is a certain function that has to be called from that JavaScript. So I have to set that function and it can be tracked. So that's how Google starts tracking data. Okay. Another question is from Greg. So Greg is asking, what are the custom reports in Google Analytics? Okay. So Greg, to answer your query, I'll show you directly in Google Analytics itself. So we have an option called customization. So let me first take you to home page. Okay. So this is the default report that you see. So you see how many sessions are happening and from which time frame. So you can, if I want to say, pull this in an Excel sheet, I can pull this in an Excel sheet. I can export it and I have an option to pull out in Excel. Now, every time, this is not the number that I may want. I may want some different numbers. So that may or may not be present in a standard reporting format in Google Analytics. So that's why Google Analytics has given an option to customize the reports. So when you click on customization, now here you can create your own reports the way you want, the parameters you want. So I have created a report for channels. So suppose I'll just instead I'll not tell you here how to create that report because it's a bit cumbersome, but definitely I'll show you one example. So when you click on channels, the report I have already created, it will run and it will give you traffic by channel. So now when you browse down, you can see these are the various channels like referral, organic search, direct, social, email, paid search, and this is the traffic that I've got. I've got say 1500 sessions from referral. So this is the best working channel for me. This is the best working marketing channel. Then 30% from organic. So on and so forth. So that is what customization is. You can get custom reports. You can create the reports that you want. You can also automate them, and every month in a mail you'll get those reports, so that you don't have to again come to Google Analytics every time and open that report. Okay. So another question is asked by Rohan. Rohan is asking, is there certification in Google Analytics? Okay. Yeah. So Rohan, there is a certification in Google Analytics offered by Google directly. Plus, Edureka also offers you certificate if you do this course. So it will be verifiable by Edureka. And secondly, this course, whatever I'll be teaching you, whatever I'll be instructing you, will help you to clear the certificate from Google. So the analytics certificate from Google is free. There is no cost for it. And whatever we do here will definitely help you in terms of learning to clear the course the Google Analytics has. So this program is very much parallel to what questions come up in Google Analytics certifications. Okay. Another question is by Sophia. So Sophia is asking, the data available on GA is recorded or live or batch mode. Okay. So, Sophia, data that is available in Google Analytics is actually it's recorded in live mode, but it's available in batch mode. Entire data is available in batch mode. Let me show you. So some data is available in live also. Suppose here I'll use a highlighter to highlight. Yeah. So you can see here real time. Just follow this highlighter, real time. I'll click on this. So this tells me real time data. Sorry, I'll have to remove the highlighter to click on it. Yeah, so when I click on this, I see overview. If I click on overview, so this is a real-time data that Google Analytics tell me. So it will tell you how many visitors are there. So currently it's 0. Now let me open the website itself. This is Tracking Coupon Express. Okay, so I've opened the website couponexpress.in, which is being tracked, the data that we're looking to. So it takes a couple of seconds. After that, this will become 1. So this is the real-time data, though it takes some time. Maybe since it's only one user, that's why it's not reflecting so quickly. So otherwise it would become, if there are more users, probably it will tell you the number of users that are there active. And so apart from real-time data, it most of the other data is of batch data. So all the reports like audience acquisition, behavior, conversion, all these reports are tracked, recorded in batch mode, and the data thrown is in batch mode. Google usually takes around 2-3 days to stabilize this data. So after 2-3 days, the data that you'll get will be stable, and you can refer that data. It won't change further. But within 2-3 days, this data may slightly change. Maybe tomorrow you'll come and see data might be a bit different for yesterday's number, and maybe in the evening it might be a little bit different. But then it will consolidate, and within 2 days, 3 days, it will stabilize. Okay, so I have another question from Piyush. So Piyush is asking, what is the difference between certification provided from Google and edureka? Okay, so Piyush, basically, I mean, it's the certification. Google provides the certification on Google Analytics. edureka also provides the certification on Google Analytics. So it's about brand basically. So Google certifies that you have cleared Google Analytics from Google, and edureka says that you have been trained in Google Analytics and you have cleared the certification from edureka. So there's no as such difference in basically one difference is that from Google Analytics you'll have to just give the exam from Google, but edureka will teach you, and this course, if you'll take this course, then we'll give you a verifiable certificate which companies can verify. There will be a number that can be verified from edureka that, yeah, so and Mr. So and so has taken undergone the Google Analytics training at edureka, and they have cleared this certificate, which is not so in the case of Google Analytics. I mean, certification provided by Google. So certification provided by Google is just an exam. You have to give that exam, you have to clear it, and that's it. You are Google Analytics certified. So whatever so best is, in my recommendation, is both the certificates, because Google Analytics certificate is free. So you can take the course at edureka. So we'll teach you what Google Analytics is, how it can be done, and it's a verifiable certificate. Then you can anytime give Google Analytics certificate and clear it, because whatever we teach here, these are the same concepts, these are the same questions that will be asked in the Google Analytics certification exam. Okay, I have one question from Sophia again. Sophia is asking, which interactions are important for an e-commerce website? Okay, Sophia, good question. And honestly, it's a big, I mean, answer to this question is big. I'll squeeze it. So what happens in e-commerce websites, there are various parameters that needs to be tracked. So you have to track how many visits are happening. Out of those visits, how many clicks are happening on products, on categories, so that you'll have a fair understanding what people are doing. I mean, what's the activity that's happening, what's the conversion rate. Then out of those clicks, you have to again track how many people are viewing reviews, how many people are comparing your products, how many people are watching the pics and photos, and various other like guarantee and other things. So all these things have to be tracked, so that you can get a fair understanding how customers are behaving on your website. Apart from this, once you move on to checkout page, then you'll have to see how many people are abandoning the cart. So what happens, people may fill in all their details, and at the final time of payment they may just close the website and go. So cart abandonment is a big problem. Usually around 70% carts are abandoned. So all these issues are important to be tracked from, especially from e-commerce perspective. So these are important activities. Apart from that, the best is you have to track each and everything what customer is doing, and so that you can deep dive and improve it. Okay, so I have a question from Piyush. So I am from data warehousing testing background. I want to know how will this course help me grow in my career. Okay. So Piyush, first thing is if you are from I mean data warehouse testing background, so you will be working on a lot of data. So this course will help you understand internet terminologies and internet activities that are important in the digital media part. So suppose if you are creating any website, if you are creating any mobile app or any say front end uh, you are testing any front-end application. So these parameters will definitely help you understand how it's working out. So as I said, we talked about, we saw examples of geography, how geography helped us track where the error was strategically. Similarly, again, this is again a step-up role. So from testing, you can get into strategy. So if you do this course, if you don't do this course, if you understand how Google Analytics work, so you can basically pinpoint what data says and what should be the next step in course of correction. So for example, suppose you are testing a front-end application and you see that technically everything is working fine, but still the visits are not, the bounce rate is high, visits are not happening properly. So you'll be in a position to understand where the error is, where the issue is. Probably if a bug is, there's a bug in code, which anyways you'll be able to test it. Or if there's no bug in the code, then probably there is some marketing issues. And even if there's a bug in the code, you'll be able to figure out from this data, like where the why the things are not working. So for example, if I track a website in a week's time, every day I see that 60% bounce rate is there. One day I see it's 95%. Definitely there's a bug in the code. So this data will help you understand that some issue happened. So without even running your tools for testing, without even running your test sheets and test specs, you can figure out that there is some problem or not. Okay. Okay, guys. So, guys, I think if you have any further queries, you can anytime reach out to support at edureka. So, those guys will be able to sort out. And if there are any specific questions, they'll pass it on to me. No problems. So, after this, I would request you to please give a feedback. How did you like this webinar? Was it helpful or not? So that we can improve on it next time when we'll do. And if you have any further queries regarding the course, definitely I'm always there. So through edureka medium we can get in touch, no problems. Also, I would like to tell finally that this course will be helpful, very helpful for people who are in marketing domain, who are in product management, who are in technical background, who wants to understand how internet of things work, how internet is working, how websites are getting tracked, and logically and analytically how you can improve a product. So this course will be helpful if you, it will basically develop a strategically thinking in your mode of approach. So you'll be able to start attacking things from analytical point of view. So like we saw that how data is helping us improve things. So it will definitely help, it will definitely add a lot of value there. So thanks guys. Have a nice day. Bye.